up to MTAC, prepping for this moment, her first call. Jesus effing Christ. The others in the APC, the others riding with Soledad, they looked calm, serene, kind of. Mostly they didn't look like cops racing through LA traffic, lights and sirens at full tilt. Except for their weapons and body armor, none of it warranted regulation. Bo and Soledad, the only two who bothered with Fritz helmets, and Soledad was pretty sure Bo sported his just so she wouldn't come off like the only weak sister in the bunch. They looked like people out for a Sunday drive. Not one of them seemed to carry the thought odds were, end of the night, all of them would be dead. Maybe that was the key, Soledad considered, to getting through this. Don't think, just do. Soledad adjusted the strap of her breastplate where it cut into the flesh of her underarm. Probably designed by a man, it didn't particularly fit a woman. Don't bother. It was Yarborough. Yar, playing cocky, giving Soledad shit for concerning herself with things like body armor, things that might keep her alive. His bravado was his tinder. He spent it easy. A lazy grin, a wink tossed for no reason. He spent it heavy in the body armor he didn't wear. Same as if he were among the rare breed too cool to die. Might as well take that shit off, doesn't do any good. Soledad looked to Reese. Didn't mean to. Had told herself no matter what, especially this first call, never in a moment of doubt look to Reese. Soledad thought it was a sign of weakness, like looking to your mom when the corner bully went calling you names. But the action was reflexive. Reese was the only other woman on the element, one of the few female MTACs, so Soledad looked to her, as if femininity equated fidelity. Reese, deep in her own thoughts, just stared straight ahead, paying no attention to Soledad or anyone else. Bo, jumping into things. Leave her. His voice had a drawl, slight, cowpoke slow. Soledad had seen Bo with a gun on the target range. His drawl was the only slow thing about him. We're supposed to be wearing it. You're not wearing your armor, Yar tossed back. The APC juked hard to one side to avoid a Toyota that cut across an intersection, never minding the lights and sirens of the MTAC vehicle. Typical LA. Didn't matter what the emergency was. Everybody thinks they've got someplace to be. I did first call. First call, I would have driven a tank if I could have. Yar laughed. Not like what Bo had said was funny. Like what Bo had said was plain ridiculous. As if a tank would make any difference in the world when you're facing down a freak. Bo was senior lead officer of the element, the oldest. Soledad thought. Hell of a career choice she'd made, where 40 was considered a long-timer. The same thought jerked her hand to the case resting next to her thigh. What you got? Yarborough asked, using his chin to point at the case. It was small, hardcover book-sized, zippered, made from synthetics. Soledad wondered to herself why Yar was paying her so much attention. She hadn't been on Central long, but they'd all trained together, put in hours together. All that time, Yar hardly looked in her direction. Here they were rolling on an M-norm, and all he could do was razz her every couple of... What you got in the case? Bring a couple of books so you won't get bored? The APC stopped. Not even. It slowed down some, but that was signal enough. Time to move. Bo was first out, the door barely open. Yarborough, Reese just a step behind. Soledad, affixing the case to her back, was right with them, hesitating not a second, not any amount of time anyone could say she froze. She was scared. She wasn't ready. Even if she was all that, no way she'd let anyone think it. As she moved, Soledad's eyes worked the scene, took in information, and processed it on the fly. Downtown L.A., rail yards, a warehouse, boarded windows showing fire, police cordoning off the area, keeping a good distance back. A safe distance. Inside the perimeter, a couple of burnt-out fire trucks and squads, the reek of their molten metal, plastic, and fabric strong enough to choke on deep breaths. Outside the perimeter, looky-loos gathered, the good citizens of Los Angeles. They stared, they pointed. A couple had camcorders ready to do some taping, hoping a cop got offed in some spectacular manner so they could sell the footage to CNN. Bo wove his way to the officer in charge. Soledad got the name on the sergeant's badge. Yost. Bo. Direct. What you got? Pyrokinetic. Yost was sweaty from more than the heat of the fires. He was wet with fear. Soledad felt herself starting to share the dampness. Fire starter. Bo's eyes swept the warehouse. Yarborough swept it with IR goggles. If it was a fire starter, you think any of us would still be here? Yost answered. Flamethrower, but it can toss them about 30 or 40 feet. That's what happened to the vehicles. Reese worked the action of her piece. It was like she wasn't even listening to the back and forth between Bo and Yost. It was like all she cared about was putting a bullet in something. Yost. The freak won't let the bucket boys put out the fire. Yarborough kept moving his goggles across the warehouse. Probably started it just to get him down here. Work up a body count, fucking freak. That's good, Bo said. Keep calling it names. That'll get us home early. Yost mumbled something audible about MTACs being arrogant motherfuck. Yarborough. Got him, 3rd floor, southeast corner. One? Reese asked. That's all I'm reading. Hard to be sure with the fire. Thank God it ain't one of them mind readers. Yost was getting sweatier by the second. Soledad. Maybe it is. She hoped she sounded like she was just voicing a consideration, not bitch scared. Couldn't pay me to go in there, I'll tell you that, Yost said, then said it again. You couldn't pay me nothing to go in there. Bo said, throw some light up top, make a little noise for cover. You take pay for that, right? To his element. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Soledad. 4. Bo started to move. Started for the warehouse. Soledad was ready to move with him. Something on her arm, fear, made every sensation feel like fire. Like maybe she'd caught a little of what slagged those vehicles. A quick look. Reese giving a squeeze, reassuring. Saying stay close, without saying a word. Soledad eyed Reese's shoulder, her tattoo. The words etched there. Tough words. Downright BAMF words that told it like it was, like it should be. Soledad kept close to Reese as the 4 went for the warehouse. As they did, behind them, Yost managed to get his act together enough to put spotlights on the building. 3rd floor. Bo had point. He carried a Colt 45 government model, more stopping power than the 9mm beat cops carried. A precision kill weapon. Reese and Yarborough toted HK MP5s, excellent for chopping freaks. Light, fast, and at full auto it could spray, baby spray. Soledad had the Benelli, a semi-auto shotgun loaded with 1-ounce slugs. She was the fail-safe. If nothing else could stop what they were going after, the Benelli could put a hole in anything. Usually. All the weapons were Synthtech series manufactured, like everything else they carried in war, from synthetics and composite materials. Inside. The first thing they got hit with was the smell, the odor of perpetually burning flesh, and something else, the hint of another aroma that Soledad could just barely distinguish. The stink of smoked crack. Oh, that's good, she thought. Not just a flamethrower, a hopped-up